Hello, my name is Shahzad, and in this video I'll show you SciChart 3.1 high performance and Silverlight WPF and charting library component. Now this application was developed by a bit of software and it was released in 2014 I think. And that's when the software was released. Now, I'll be discussing about this software. Now, the software is a charting library. Now, charting library is aimed at health and the financial industries and etc. But only at them, because that it can visualize data and it can help users what is going on with the data and to analyze and research about what data is encountered in their eyes when using a charting library, analyzing the specific points. How to download. I've given you downloading, but I was finding difficulties trying to find this installer package for this version. But when I found the download link URL, I've copied this. When you click on this link, it will ask you to log in with your SciChart account and scroll down until you find the 3.1 WPF. To with installing the .NET framework, that's also required both of the actual SciChart installer. Install both of them. You see the SciChart 3.1 on my install video, and enjoy testing SciChart 3.1. SciChart 3.1 has WPF functionality and even Silverlight if you have Silverlight installed, which has Silverlight 5. You can test the band series, candlestick, column, etc. etc. We're going to test that today. Create a basic chart. We have a band series chart. I'll showcase that right now. Now the band series chart is like this. Now this is about what is above the other. Now this is a band series chart. Now the band series chart is quite a useful chart. Generates a simple band series chart in the codes. Then we will look at the source code which created these examples, and these are all combined in one XAML and one code behind. I'll show you all of the data, and that's it. One XAML file and one code behind for the examples that they've created. Dual lines are drawn by series color, series 1 color, etc. Shaded bands. Now the band shaded band. Now the shaded band between them, and the shaded band is green and red, and these are all shaded. Now these point clearly to what is above the other when it is like shaded. When you click on the zoom extents, it will zoom back to the default one, and if you zoom in like this and double click, it automatically resets back to the extent of the chart. And when I click on is axis swapped, it swaps the axis to this position. Is axis flipped? Is x-axis flipped? Now this is the x-axis interval review, like the view, and this is flipped. Is y-axis flipped? Now this is another thing. Now the y-axis is flipped. Now you can see that the red is merged with the green one, and when you disable this, it automatically reverts back to the green with red merging. And you can pan the chart, You can zoom in, and you can rotate clockwise like this. And that is how this feature works. So if you haven't if you have data where y1 is greater than y2, always you see an envelope effect. Now this is good because this is added to the effects but it's hidden in the software. Create for rendering confidence interval, error margins, or Bollinger Bands. We have a box plot in this example. Now the box plot is like this. Now the box plot has these kind of lines, but these are not as movable and they cannot be editable, and these are not programmed for being movable and resizable and re-editable, because these are actual static digital images. Given just an example used to demonstrate how the box plot data series and fast box renderable series display statical data. And we have a bubble chart. We'll see this. Now this bubble chart. Now you'll increase this size. This will make the bubble much bigger, and decreasing it down makes the ball smaller. And this is the z-scale function. We have a candlestick chart, which is useful for financial use. Now, double clicking, or I'll show you double clicking, decreasing the size, or changing it bigger. Double clicking will automatically revert back to this original position of the chart. Generally, a simple candlestick chart encodes. A fast candlestick renderable series requires an old data series with containing 1 point and 1 full y point, open, highlight, close, and candlestick chart. Now the bar coloring on these will be was shown to the new bills in the included charting library code as an example of the code. And that's how they meant to. The column chart, and we have a column chart, and this is basically a bar. We have a sample of the column chart, and you can change the stretch size. Now this makes the column chart a lot more stretchier, and decreasing it back to the normal low stretch makes the position back to its normal position chart. And the digital band series chart is, again, this is a band series, and you'll zoom in, you'll zoom back out to double clicking it, and you will pan the chart. You'll pan the chart we will zoom in, and the digital line chart. Now this is a new like of digital line series chart, And this is the control which looks more like an oscilloscope. Now this example features the digital scatter lines between the this is like a waveform display, and this is digital step line chart encode. A fast line renderable series represents a line chart. Now this is given a stroke. Now scroll from green scroll it. Now this is like a this line scatter series represents a oscilloscope like line chart. Now this is particularly useful when in charting library testing, when you see the data visualizing and the analyzer. Digital mountain chart, and this is the digital mountain chart. And when you further zoom in, it will show you the digital mountain chart. Now this is like a graph, but even if it's mountain, it looks like a graph. Now this is going down and down and down and up, all the way like that. That's how trend works. And this is the you can zoom in, and it will automatically changes the stretches. Now this is very stretchable. When you double click on this, it automatically reverts back to the non-stretchable. And the heat map chart, and this is like the heat map chart. Now the heat map chart, now this looks more like a temperature chart, which this is extremely hot to extremely cold. This looks more like a temperature chart, but this is still a heat map chart. Now this is the heat map chart is radiating in the sample below, which you can see it, except to the array of data and the identified color map, which can be displayed as a legend of a chart. You click and drag on the chart to see an animated zoom performance while the heat map is updating. And heat map chart with text. Now this is the text which numbers are readable in this column. This is the numbers about, and this is a sample bar with colors, matching color. Impulse stem chart. This is a stem chart. Now you see a dotted like a small dots here, and this is a impulse chart, and this is how this captures the impulses of this chart, and this chart example is movable, but I think that it is non-editable because other charts in the software are editable and others are not, like this. And we have a line chart. Now this looks more like an oscilloscope. Now this is a line chart, and this views the wavy lines with the square strokes, and these are equivalent to the fast line readable series. Now this fast line readable series represents a line chart. We this has a stroke, sort of a greenish sort of bit look of it in this view, and a mountain chart again. This is a normal graph, a mountain chart, compared to the digital chart. Now the view changes. This is view. The scatter chart, and this is, and this is a scatter chart. Now in this example, it is the XY scatter resemble series that can be used to render an XY data series or an XY data series again, but it is Y1 only, or each data series is renders close, and the line series of the scatter chart is pointed. Now these dots are more scattered in this example. Create a multi-series chart. We have chart legends, and this is curve A, B, C, and this is how it works. Now when I uncheck curve B, it automatically, this is editable as well. Now this is editable. Now if I uncheck B, it automatically removes the green line. Now this is the curve A, B. B is finished, like deleted, but if I uncheck A, it automatically deletes the curve A from the charting list. If I uncheck curve C, no data can be found on this. We have error bars. And error bars is like this. Now this is in the oscilloscope screen, and this is now zoomable. We can zoom into the chart, then we can double click it, and we can revert the chart back to its original position. We have a fan chart. Now the fan chart is like this. Now when you zoom into the fan chart, it automatically, when you select a specific point, it automatically zooms into that point. And these are zoomable. We have gaps in series. Now these are gaps in series. Now these dots are on each block lines, with each lines connecting the dots and the blocks together. These are positive and these are negative. And these are non-zoomable. They are just a static digital image in this scenario, like in this chart. We have draw NANS gabs. No other option, just gabs. Line and scatter chart. Now this is a scatter chart with a line, and this is just a demonstration about how the line how the scatter and the lines merge and mix into the chart. We have a stacked bar chart Now this is a stacked bar chart. Now this how it looks like. This is a sample NO, means for number, and we can zoom in onto the chart. We can zoom into the chart and we can take a clear look about what these mean. And the value of this chart is 0 to 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50. And some this reaching about 40 centimeters, I think. And stack column chart. Now this is a stacked column chart. Now this is a column chart, and this captures the actual viewing of the column, and this is created in code behind. And it's also created in XAML and code behind as well. And we are looking at a performance demo. But bear that in mind that I'm actually recording the screen, and even my VM is quite slow. But if I upgrade the hardware, it should be fast. We're not going to talk about that. We are talking about this. What is happening like this? If I pause this, I can zoom into the chart. This. Then I can double click back, then we can bring the chart back to its original position before we zoomed it. If I click on reset, if I click on start, it resumes the play of the test. If I press reset, but you have to press pause first for reset. If I press reset, it automatically resets to the FPS dash. That means no number, and the point count is 0. And the real time ghosted trace, and this is like a ghost trace. And this example shows a presence of old traces giving a ghost effect. As new series draw, older series are much more increasingly transparent until they become invisible. Tip: a big example looks a lot more better using the high quality resolution series of transparency for maximum performance, the high speed renderable surface. This is capturing the surface of it. And real time series values, and this is the real-time values. Now this is running in analyzing view. This is the orange series, and the green series, blue series. All of them are included in this chart, including these. Check mark and to not check mark, to uncheck mark. If I uncheck this, are series visible? If I uncheck this, it means that the R series is not visible at all. If I uncheck R series visible, the blue, it means that the blue bit is not visible. And if the orange bit is unchecked, that means the orange bit of the chart is not visible. Is series value modifier enabled? When I click on this, uncheck this, nothing happens, it just disables it, but overall will happen. And real time with cursors, and this is a mouse over cursors in real time. And if I uncheck use rollover modifier interpolation, it disables it, but nothing happens. And these are non-zoomable and non-panable because they are for real time running. And real time taking stock charts. Now this is the stocks. Now we can zoom in. We can change the series type. Or we can pan through here, this. And we can click on start real time. And you can see the chart ticking away there. Once it's taken, you can actually zoom in and pan it. All of it is no problem. And I can show you how I can change the series type. And another thing is how we can change the theme. And we have our zoom in pan chart. Zoom in pan the chart. We can draw area to zoom, but these are non. But these are. You can zoom in. Now I saw that it can be zoomable. Now you can zoom in. You can zoom in onto the chart, and we can drag and we can zoom in into the chart, and then we can reset back to instead of a chart, and we can zoom x-axis only. And when I uncheck this, we can get an unlimited view of zoom in. And if I click on zoom extends y-axis, it zooms into the y-axis bit. Now we can reset our zoom and we can bring it back to default. Now the overview control allows you to scroll, and pan and zoom also was rewritten by the members of the SciChart development team. We can now zoom in. You can use this scroll bar, and this oscilloscope also been added with this the blue waveform, and this is how you will zoom in, like this. Pan and mouse drag, this is how it is, and the mouse drag is, you can zoom in onto this. Now if I click on the middle button drag, I'm clicking on the scroll wheel, that's why it zooms into the middle button drag. If I trying to uncheck it, if I click on right button drag, it allows the user to pan on right button drag. If I click on left button drag again, it automatically resumes to the standard mouse drag. Pan or Y or X direction only. And if I click on Y direction only, it's only allow the Y direction. Both X and Y directions, it allows unlimited dragging. If I click on X direction only, it automatically only allows us to perform an X direction. I'll keep it as original. And the C3 Labs ECG monitor. Now this is an ECG waveform, and this is the series, and this is an example of how this showcases a real-time heart rate monitor. This example is MVVM and how it fills to a 5-file series of data, etc, etc. And spectrum analyzer, I'll check. This is the spectrum analyzer. Now this is how the spectrum works. Now these waveform are actually really, but this waveform, this is not as moving, but these are moving as a spectrum. Now this is actually important because you are testing a spectrum analyzer. Now this is a spectrum analyzer monitor, and that is important for measuring frequency, domain, chart, recursive, etc, etc. Create real-time charts. Again, we will do the 16-channel EEG test, and this is an EEG test. Now if I increase the if I decrease if I pause this, if I click on the interval milliseconds, if I click on stop, but I need to do more. If I once per tick, if I decrease it down, and now this how it's starts in this motion. If I play, this starts faster, but this starts similarly to the speed, but it's to the motion, but it starts faster. Now we have FIFO scrolling charts, and this is an actual view of a FIFO. Now if I pause this, this is non-zoomable. No. And if I reset, if I uncheck use FIFO, if I uncheck it, it shows no FIFO scrolling waveforms. If I check mark again, then I'll click on stop, then it shows the FIFO scrolling waveform. Okay. I'll click on reset, and that is pretty much it. Now you can search for logarithmic axis or etc. where you want. I'll start with logarithmic y-axis, and this is a logarithmic axis, and use logarithmic on. This is the x-axis and the y-axis. Use both an x and y-axis. This is how. Modify axis properties. If I click on this, this is the date of how does the axis does. You can select the date. You can enter a year, and you can I'll enter a year, and I will enter another year. And this is how you edit the date. And you can draw axis bands. If you check mark this, it will automatically check marks the axis bands. And you can click on multiple x-axis, and these are four axes. Red line, or if I uncheck this, it disappears the red line, and I'll bring it back. if I uncheck the green line, it automatically disappears the green line. If I remove the orange and blue line from the list, as well as the green line, it removes all of these three lines, but I'll add them again. Vertical charts, and these are the red and the blue axes. These are the x-axis on the left, right, and the y-axis on the top. SciChart supports unlimited x and y axis that allows placement any axis on the left, right, top, bottom, or half the chart, etc, etc. But these are non-editable, means they're not zoomable or panable. Vertically stacked axes, and this template allows to create a true EEG style chart, and you can zoom into the chart, but as there's no waveform, you can still zoom in. But the waveform should appear, but I'm saying this because there's no waveform. And an oscilloscope. And this features an oscilloscope in this example, and we can use a rollover modifier to use whatever roll is doing. If I enable rollover modifier, if I enable this one, it enables the rollover modifier. And the cursor, we will use and the cursor should appear and is step line. And this is source for series. If we click on the drop down, it gives us an option, release juice. This is an option to the for option. This is the laser juice. But on most standard oscilloscope, even with this example, the waveform appears in a for style instead of the laser juice. Or bring it back to the default Fourier series. SciChart Trader. Now SciChart Trader is this looks like a ticking stock chart. Now you can zoom in. You can zoom it. You can zoom with this scroll bar, and double click and resets back to the extent of the chart. Roll over, and this appears like this, and that's pretty much it. I'll go back to the band series chart. And that's pretty much it. Now, thank you for watching this video, and if this video helped you, feel free to post them in the comment section below, and thank you. And this is my video about the software. Thank you very much.